be a part of Hawk Time. We're involving our Hawk Time classes, so it's kind of a competition, but not really. So it's just to get people to donate to Rare Fox, which I talked about last time. And then we always have our e-deposit up and running. Student Council is starting to plan our spirit trip for the end of May. We plan on going to Cedar Point, hopefully. And it's looking like the cheerleaders are winning, so we'll see about that. But, and then we have our Spring Break Spirit Week this week, and so today was Spirit Green for St. Patrick's Day. And then we have like Beach Day and Thursday Day, things like that. And then we also, the seniors in Student Council awarded or nominated 2 seniors for the Principal Award. Just people who were at a lot of events, they participated in Spirit Days, just to, you know, make them feel recognized and that their participation is worth it. And then we are planning another mental health week this week. I don't think we have our dates exactly set, but it will be next one in November. More about it, we'll have it more planned out, but that's really all. Questions?
No,
Thank you very much.
Okay, next up is Superintendent report. Good evening, nice to see everybody as always. We're fortunate enough tonight to have Matt Jenkins here. He is a part of the Brandon Groveland Youth Assistance Board, and he is here to share some information on a new grant that is available not only in schools but in the community. So I'm going to be quiet, and I'm going to let you take it away.
Good evening, thank you very much. Like the superintendent said, my name is Matt Jenkins, and I am a board member of Brandon Groveland Youth Assistance. My day job, I'm the executive director of the Ortonville Downtown Development Authority. And I appreciate the superintendent and the board's time to tell you a little bit about the Soar Above It grant. You should have a copy of this in front of you for those in the audience. If you didn't pick one up, there should be one, or there should be copies at the entrance. The Soar Above It grant has been a project that a handful of people, including Diane Salter, myself, Shelby, have worked on for several months, more months than we anticipated when we started talking about it. But the funds for this grant came from collaboration with Brandon Township, and they had applied for and received opioid settlement and remediation funds, a nationwide settlement related to the opioid and and the township, not necessarily knowing exactly what to do with the funds immediately, collaborated with Brandon Groveland Youth Assistance on things that we might be able to do. If you're familiar with a series of mental health related articles in the Citizen newspaper, that is one of the ways that we are utilizing those funds to reach into the community and educate on mental health. This Soar Above It grant is another opportunity. And our hope is to be able to use the grant over a series of several years, or use the funds over a series of several years to fund projects within the classroom, within the buildings, and within the community, all focused on the mental health of our students. And so if there's opportunities for classroom teachers to collaborate with community partners, that's also encouraged. I should have led with this. We already have our first applicant for this round of grants. We did decide to do a round of grants right now before the end of the school year. Moving forward, these grants will be open and available for a cycle in the fall. So come September of 2025, we will make that available as well. So I'm happy to answer any questions, or what I'll say is help us get the word out on this grant. Applications are due April 11th, and we will make every effort to award those grants by April 30th.
I only have like a statement that I wanted to say that piggybacks, because I worked with Matt and with Shelby and the board, but I just wanted to sort of add but repeat. This grant has been in the works for months. I mean, and many people made it happen. And I'm gonna tell you, especially Matt, Shelby, Bob MacArthur, the Brandon Township Government Board, and the BGYA Board. I just hope teachers, staff, community groups will submit some kind of program that helps us all improve our kids' mental health so that they don't fall victim of substance abuse or delinquency. That's what the goal is to stop that as best we can, even if it's at one kid or many kids at a time. So please grab a copy. If you don't, the Brandon Groveland Youth Assistance website has it. We have it on some Facebook pages, but get the word out. Thanks, Matt. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. All right, the next board report, I'd like to invite Brian Snowman from Wakely and Associates to give a bond project update for this summer.
Good evening. We're getting closer to starting our construction projects for the summer. So far, we're still just making sure the contractors have all their materials, all their supplies in order. We haven't heard anything bad or negative as far as delays of any type of material or something. So right now, we're planning to start on schedule. We're working with Christie from Wall Gas. She's been in contact with the contractors. She's been helping schedule everything, and there's still some talking as far as refining some of the dates and so forth for when we're going to be in the areas this summer. So one thing I tried to do, I rearranged the slides differently from last summer. I thought this would be a better way to track the progress as we go through. We'll use this as in future meetings. So I broke the projects down a little bit so it'll be easier for us to identify to the board which items are in progress and the schedule as we're getting them completed. So again, just to recap, high school, Good Pack 6 parking lots, the west lot, the south lot, the east lot, and the drive lanes. Campus wayfinding signage, there's two components to that. There's the new kiosk, the Masonry Pier kiosk, and then the directional signage. So there's two components to that. Soccer field for the high school, we were replacing the bleachers, some of the fencing around there. We're adding the protective netting, the concrete walkways. The concession building at the high school, the new interior finishes, plumbing and electrical improvements, the door replacement, and then we're adding that second serving window. Again, at the high school interior here, we're adding some cross corridor doors for security reasons and replacing some hardware in the stairwell so when we have an after hours event, no one can wander through the building or go upstairs. So those are components that we'll be putting in place, obviously not till the kids are gone. And then for the pool, we'll be adding the acoustical wall panels up on the pool walls that were taken down when we did the main renovations a year ago. Harvey Swanson Concession Building, we'll be replacing the interior finishes, got plumbing and electrical work to do, replacing the two roll-down serving shutters, and then the exterior door. The toilet rooms are the ones up connected to the Harvey Swanson Elementary School. We're doing interior finishes, replacing the fixtures and the exterior doors. And then that ADA ramp access all the way up to those bathrooms, replacing the ramp, the stairs, and the retaining wall and the fencing. Middle school, again, the parking lot, we've got that divided into several pieces because we have to stage how they're going to do that around the building. The north lot, the ITAC lot, the south lot, west drive lanes, and then Also the transportation building and maintenance building parking lots too, that's also in the program. And then the HVAC components that are up on top of the roof at the middle school. So that's basically the scope for this year. We do want to start some projects over spring break. We'll be putting up the acoustic panels in the pool, doing some electrical work, we'll start some demolition up at the top of the roof at the middle school, and then we do want to start the concession building at the high school as well. So we want to get a jump on some of these projects during spring break. It looks like we'll be able to do that. Contractors are ready, so we'll get a jump on as much as we can while break. And then in future meetings, we'll have more of a schedule as far as the parking lots go and how we'll be staging around there. That'll be for future meetings that we'll present to you. Any questions I can answer?
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
All right, next up is approval of consent agenda. Move the Brandon Board of Education approve the consent agenda as presented. Second. Any discussion? Can I get a vote? Roll call vote?
Diane?
Yes.
Herb? Hillary?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes. All right, next is information and discussion items, board report.
I have just a short one. On February 21st, I attended an MASB Labor Relations Workshop. I found the sessions very informative. They covered current updates pertaining to like healthcare plans, fact-finding, policies, and a lot of the new law changes that have come up within the past 6 months. So it was very important. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you for attending. And,
Sorry,
okay,
what-
go ahead.
So I have no report for the Oakland County School Board Associations. We didn't have a meeting, there wasn't a meeting this past time. The next meeting is April 2nd, so there's no report. And also, we had a finance committee meeting, just for the minutes on February 24th, and just to update the board. Carly gave an extensive review in her board meeting notes for that week, and we can read it in there. And our next meeting for finance is March 31st. Just remind everybody it's me, Kathy Hillary, that.
All right, thanks. Next up is education report. Mr. Sheldon, come join us. Move around.
I am Jason Sheldon, and many of you know me, and I come here for these meetings, or I've had your children in class, or I do now, and they've gone on these trips, but I'm here tonight to talk about our 8th grade Cedar Point trip and our 8th grade Washington DC trip. So I know on the agenda I had DC first, but I'll do Cedar Point first because that's the one coming up. That was gonna be June 6th of this year. That trip each year is for any 8th grader who qualifies. We try to take as many as we can, but there are criteria. They have to be in school, they have to be passing their classes, they can't have any major behavioral issues. We keep it sort of gray areas with those restrictions, so we have some flexibility. We try to take as many as we can. We run a couple charter buses. We head down in the morning on a Friday. We're there all day. We come back at night. This trip has been going on longer than I've been around, which has been for a little bit now. So we're glad to keep it going. Last year we took over 80 students. This year we start selling tickets in April, and that's when the pieces come together for that. But we're in the initial planning stages of that. Like I said, to go on June 6th. And cost has not changed at all. $85 a student. We take parent chaperones. there any questions on Cedar Point? And then DC, we go every October now, so this year's trip, some of your students went on. Best group I've ever taken, and that's not a knock on fighter groups at all. Phenomenal trip, out of their rooms before I had to knock on the doors, which was, you know, this is what, I don't want to jinx anything, but it was strange, they're different to me, for sure. Usually it's the other way around, where are they? One time it was, where are they? They were already down at breakfast before I even got to their room, so it was a good, where are they? Plan again this year is to go Washington, D.C. We start Jamestown and Williamsburg in Virginia, colonial America, then go D.C., then go Philadelphia. This year, we've gone to Monticello the last few years. We're going to go to Mount Vernon this year. Just kind of mix it up. George Washington's home. Obviously, it corresponds very well to the 8th grade curriculum. I can't count how many times leading up to the trip I reference, you will see this, or I almost feel guilty for the kids who don't go. After we come back, how many times I say, well, you went on the trip, you were here, you saw that, but it really connects them to what we learned in class. Price went up slightly this year, $1,800. We do have a $1,000 scholarship through World Strides, and we do have fundraising through World Strides. So I've never had a situation since I've been running it where someone who wanted to go couldn't go. We find a way to help them. We definitely want anyone. And there's a girl right now who keeps asking me, has anybody, because I said it's a $1,000 scholarship, we divide it up depending on how many requested. She like almost daily is asking me, has anybody requested it? Like, no, it's still there for you. So we're gonna do everything we can to make sure she goes. Last year we took 56 students plus parents who went with us and chaperones. This year we've got 54 signed up already, so we'll probably be a little higher than last year because usually there are parents who forget or kids who decide in the fall, hey, they're going in a month, can I go now, kind of thing. And World Strides is really good about allowing us to add people in those situations. Again, we take charter buses there, we drive everywhere we go. Food, hotel, everything is accommodated, and it's a fantastic trip, the things we see and the things we do, and I'm glad to be able to keep it going after Mr. Henshaw kind of passed the baton to me. It's a fantastic trip. Any questions about these?
No, but thank you for doing that, you know, it's a lot of work.
It's the planning that really is
Right.
well,
Well, and a good sleep you need when you get back.
I'm a little bit more accustomed to sleeping on the bus. I wouldn't say it's my first choice. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next is action items. A, board policy updates.
Move that the Brandon Board of Education approve the board policy updates as presented.
Second. Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Diane,
Yes.
Herb, Hillary,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
yes, Kim,
Yes.
Rebecca.
Yes. All right, next is Brandon Administration Association contract approval.
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve Brandon Administration Association contracts as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Diane,
Yes.
Herb. Yes. Hillary,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Rebecca.
Yes. Next is the K-12 Alliance.
I'll move the Brandon Board of Education adopt a resolution calling for full permanent funding of the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act as presented and forward the adopted resolution to the K-12 Alliance of Michigan and federal and state legislators representing the geographical area of Brandon Township, Brandon School District, sorry.
Support. That should do.
Kim? All right, and then Joe, you wanna just talk about that?
Yeah, I
real
have
quick?
discussion.
Yeah, go ahead.
I presented like a little summary for the board
Sure.
and a little history and stuff and in case, I mean, I'm sure everybody's familiar, but just in case. So in the beginning of February 2025, the Oakland Schools forwarded information from the K-12 Alliance of Michigan regarding the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act and the full funding of that. And there was also, I found an article in the Detroit News, January 30th, 2025. Just for everybody's awareness, the K-12 Alliance of Michigan is a domestic nonprofit corporation. It was formerly named the Tri-County Alliance for Public Education. And this is a association which is a professional alliance among the public education superintendents in Michigan to promote public education in Michigan through a variety of means. So just other little history about the IDEA. It was passed in 1975 and signed into law. At the time it was adopted, it was under a former name called the Education for All Handicapped Children Act, and the name changed in 1990. I know this because I did a law review article on it. So basically, you know, IDEA has we have 4 purposes generally. It's changed over time, but one, most importantly, to ensure all children with disabilities have an available, free, and appropriate education. The rights of disabled children and their parents are protected. To assist states and localities to provide such education, which kind of what this legislation is kind of focusing on, that third prong, and assess and ensure effectiveness of efforts to educate disabled children. So when the IDEA was passed, the federal government was supposed to fund 40% of the additional costs covered that school districts would face with the passage of the legislation. But and that 40%, and since 1975, it's never been funded at the 40% rate, pretty much ranging from 18% down to currently about 10.3 and 10.7%. So tonight, I guess we're just asking for the board to pass this resolution, which was in the packet, to encourage our federal legislatures to pass a bipartisan bill. It does have bipartisan support to fully fund the act. And when I was reviewing the act, or the bill, the amendment, it appears that, well, it stated that the IDA would start in little smaller percentages and then become fully funded at the 40% in about 10 years. But so depending on if it's ever, you know, if it's reintroduced, if it's passed, but I think it's a great idea, and that's why I moved it. So if anybody has any questions, answer.
Thank you for explaining that. Can I get a roll call vote?
Diane?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Hillary?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Hillary?
Yes.
Lisa? Rebecca?
Yes. All right, next is BMS 838 2025 Washington DC trip approval.
Move the Brandon Board of Education to approve the BMS 8th grade 2025 Washington DC trip as presented.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Diane?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Hillary?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes. Next is BMS 8th grade 2025 Cedar Point field trip approval.
Move that the Brandon Board of Education approve the Brandon Middle School 8th grade 2025 Cedar Point trip as presented.
Awesome.
Jeff, second. Any discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Diane?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Hillary?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes. Next is citizens input. wish to speak. I'm just going to read this real quick before we do. When addressing the board, please recognize yourself by stating your name. Each statement shall be limited to 3 minutes, and you can only speak once. The statement shall be directed at the board only. Generally, the board will not respond to public comments during the meeting. Speakers are asked to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and privacy of others who may be affected by your comments. To ensure due process and respect of individual rights, the district maintains a formal process for handling complaints against individuals. A problem involving an individual or specific incident is best handled through administrative channels. Such matters should be reduced to writing and sent to the superintendent or the board president. While it is not our intent to stifle public comment, speakers should be aware that if your statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, you may be held legally responsible. If you are unsure of the legal ramifications of what you are about to say, we urge you to consult with your legal advisor. The board wants to hear what people want to say. We expect each speaker will model for our students and others in the audience and how we can respectfully disagree with others' views or voice an opinion or ask questions. Okay, so first up is Rhonda Morris.
Good evening. My name is Rhonda Morris, and I'm a level 3 classroom teacher at Hard Wisconsin. I have some really exciting things that happen in my classroom, and some of my colleagues are here tonight, and they get to see them and hear them, you know, like right up close. Our students are working towards earning Hawk Bucks so that they can spend them in the store that Jessica and Chad talked about. They're really getting excited when they get one, or when they come back from Jenna, they're like, I just earned a Hawk Buck. So that's pretty exciting. My students have earned 3 Hawk parties so far this year, and that is like huge for my kids. Since I wasn't here last year, I had no idea how many they earned, but they earned 1 towards the end of the year. So we're already, you know, getting that ball rolling. They earn 1 letter per day every time all of the students in the classroom have a good day with no majors. Another thing that my students really enjoy is random rewards. That's like, you know, you're walking around and everybody's doing what they need to. So they get a random treat or a small token. One of the things that I found that's been the most important to me since I joined Brandon in August was the sense of community. I absolutely love the people that I work with. I love the people that I work for in that building. They're always supportive. And the women that I work with in my classroom, my parapros, they're like my rocks. They're like so solid. And they go throughout the building to help anybody that needs it. One of the biggest things we try to do is promote that sense of community, establishing open lines of communication through daily point sheets and email updates to my parents every day, scanning the point sheets, and then I always send something positive home that happened with students. It's helped to foster a lot of positive relationships, and I think allow parents to express to me as a classroom teacher, you know, some of the concerns they might not normally express. I do, however, though, as a member of the Brandon Education Association, have some concerns regarding unresolved issues which have led to the bargaining process to enter mediation. I'm only going to take time to talk about one, and that's the financial part. When I signed my contract in August, my insurance was $100 cheaper per month, and the deductible per person covered was $500 less for the same coverage. My family has, for my family alone, this amounts to $4,200. So in essence, I am currently working for $4,200 less than I was in August for this next calendar year. I have a child with some extreme medical conditions, so a different policy is not an option for us as a family. I did not receive a step increase because I was a new employee to the district. So there was no increase to help offset the insurance increases. And a 1% raise doesn't even come close to helping with the inflationary costs that everyone is experiencing. My hope in speaking tonight is that you as a school board will understand the financial hardship that members of the BEA are experiencing and keep that in mind throughout the bargaining process. It would be nice to settle on a contract that is fair and equitable to all parties, and raises should not be tied to evaluation language because they are 2 separate issues. Thanks, and if you didn't get everything or you didn't hear me, it's all in that little blue sheet.
Thank you. Next up is Lori Moreno.
I was a little bit, just leave that.
Good evening. My name is Lori Marino, and I'm a Spanish teacher at BHS. This is my 26th year teaching and my 24th year in the district. From my very first days as a teacher here, I knew this was a special place. The school felt like a small community, and the school spirit, conduct of the students, and the kindness and dedication of the staff stood out to me. My husband and I intentionally moved to be closer to the district after my first year here. And even though we reside in Oxford, it was never even a consideration to not enroll our children in Brigham schools. My daughter is a 2023 graduate of BHS and is currently thriving in her second year at Grand Valley. And my son is currently a junior here. I'll always be grateful to the teachers who work hard and made such a positive impact on their lives. One of the things I love most about my time in Brandon is the relationships I've developed with students. One of the upsides to a district our size, in my opinion, is that many of us have students more than once during their time at the high school. We have the opportunity to really get to know our students. I always start the year a little on the strict side. Those who know me know I love my routines, right, Annalise? But after some time passes, each class begins to develop unique qualities that make it endearing, whether it be an inside joke, trying to teach me team lingo, or a special song, lesson, or activity that they really love to bring life to the group. I felt so fortunate over the years to have been able to share experiences that I really love and find valuable with our students, such as field trips to Day of the Dead shows, mariachi concerts, trips to the DIA in Mexican Town, and most recently our trips to Chicago. I am grateful that our district supports these endeavors, as these are meaningful and lasting memories for the students. When the end of each school year comes along, I'm always excited for summer, but I'm also a little sad. These kids become a part of your daily life. You can't wait to hear the good news they may share, or comfort them when they feel down, or encourage them when they need it, or even share something about your own life that they may connect with. There is a quote I read a few years ago that really speaks to me and captures my sentiment, and always chokes me up. One of the hardest things about being a teacher that no one else thinks about, you make a little family, and then you say goodbye every single year. These are my feelings and experiences, but I know I'm not the only teacher who feels this way. This is our life's work, and some of us dedicate the best of ourselves to our school and our students on a daily basis because we believe in them, we believe in this community, and we believe that what we do every day makes a difference. Please continue to support your teachers.
Next up is Gwen Stein.
Thanks,
My name is Gwen Stein, and I've been a teacher for 24 years, and I'm proud to say that all 24 of those years have been at Brandon High School. I've worked under 11 superintendents and 3 principals, and I've had dozens and dozens and dozens of colleagues. And even though I only look like I'm in my 20s, I'm most proud of the fact that I've taught thousands of students. Last year, Carly started our new school year with a slogan, "We are Brandon, and I'm the Blackhawk." And I really loved that saying because it encapsulates what I believe to be our community and our school. To embody this, the Brandon Education Association recently began promoting the hard work and the faces of the teachers within the district, highlighting all that they have done over the course of their careers. And when I was asked to share my contributions, I felt nostalgic. I reflected on all of the lessons that I've taught, all the faces that have sat in my desk, many of your own children. But I also reminisced through all of my different roles at Brandon. I've been a coach, part of curriculum teams, the chair to several committees. It's a lot to look back on. But each role has brought a smile to my face, reminding me of Carly saying, "We are Brandon, and I am a Blackhawk." Most recently, I've been working with the Universal Design for Learning cohort led by Oakland Schools, and I've been collaborating with my fellow English teachers on updating novels for the English classrooms. Currently, I am a part of an English group from around the county to pilot a project-based learning unit surrounding the use of AI. And just last year, I was involved in a teacher evaluation committee where teachers and administrators alike worked collaboratively to make the evaluation assist process a system and structure that worked for all stakeholders. It was tedious work, and sometimes I felt like my eyes were crossing as we sat there painstakingly going over line by line, word by word, and I ended up being really proud of our collaboration. Our end result perfectly exemplified Carly saying that we are Brandon and I'm the Black Hawk. So when I heard we were bringing in outside counsel to help with our contract negotiations, I was shocked. That action to me was a step away from our slogan. This person is not Brandon. This person is not a Black Hawk. Obviously, I'm coming from a teacher lens on all of this, and I'm not privy to closed-door conversations. Instead, I'm in my classroom every day because that's what I love and that's what I think I'm really good at. So please know that even though conversations are happening behind closed doors, the negativity trickles down to teachers. Over the course of my 24 years, there has definitely been some rough patches with morale. But I hope that common sense will prevail here. I hope we will work out our differences, and I hope we will remember who we are. We are Brandon, and I'm a Black Hawk.
All right, thank you. And next is closed session.
Move the Brandon Board of Education to enter closed session as presented.
Second.
All right, thank you.